Writing Bright 1. For Writing Bright 1, we still continue with Unit 4, Past Time, Lesson, Writing Sentences, page 41. But before we go there, let's do a quick lesson review on what we've done so far. So far, we've done writing basic sentences. We completed Uncle Brian's schedule. Remember, we were doing Uncle Brian's schedule. So there's a schedule of what he's done, okay, what he had to do, okay, and we have to convert the sentences, the verbs, into simple past. We also did completed sentences using was and were, okay, so questions and answer, yes there were, yes there was, okay, you also did that. That was part of your homework and your classwork as well. You also did some answering questions using simple past verb. You remember doing all that, right? Okay, good. Now for this session, we're not going to go very fast. We're not going to go very long because it's just a quick lesson on basically writing. Okay, so could you please turn to page 41. Now on page 41, look at exercise 4. Exercise 4 on page 41, it says, write sentences about what each person was doing last night at 11 o'clock. Now, what does people do last night at 11 o'clock? So at 11 p.m., right? PM means evening, okay? Good. So PM means evening. Look at the words in green. We have watch TV, drink tea, sleep, read a magazine, talk on the phone, knit a sweater. Now what does it mean, sweater? What does sweater means? Sweater is like a jumper, it's like a jacket. It's made out of wool or cotton, okay? It's called sweater. Look at the picture. There are, how many pictures are there? There are 5 pictures, okay? Well, technically there are 7 pictures, but only 5 pictures are labeled. Okay, look at the example. At 11 p.m. last night, Mr. and Mrs. Harvey were watching TV. What's the long term for TV? Television. Very good. Now look at the sentences. 1. At 11 p.m. last night, Mom and Dad. Number 2. At 11 p.m. last night, Uncle Brian. Number 3. At 11 p.m. last night, Sarah. Number 4. At 11 p.m. last night, Sue and Zoe. Number 5. At 11 p.m. last night, Grandma. Okay, so basically what you need to do is you need to look at the pictures, okay, and then put the words into the sentences from the box, okay? So look at the first picture. At 11 p.m. last night, Mom and Dad, what's the picture number 1? Okay, so picture number 1, drinking tea, right? They're drinking tea. Who's drinking tea? Mom and Dad. So Mom and Dad were drinking tea. So what can we say? Okay, so at 11 p.m. last night, Mom and Dad were drinking tea, right? So we need to write what each person was doing last night. Okay, number 2. Look at picture number 2. What is Uncle Brian doing? Right, so Uncle Brian is reading a magazine. Okay, so number 2, at 11 p.m. last night, Uncle Brian was reading a magazine. We're reading a magazine, or was reading a magazine. Which one do you think? Was or were? He was reading a magazine, right? Or he were reading a magazine. Which one do you think is the correct answer? Okay, so if you can't remember, have a look at page 41. Right? So he was reading a magazine. Number 3, at 11 p.m. last night, Sarah was talking on the phone. Number 4, at 11 p.m. last night, Sue and Zoe were sleeping. Number 5, at 11 p.m. last night, Grandma was or were? Was knit knitting a sweater. Was knitting a sweater. Okay, was knitting a sweater or was knitting a sweater? Which one would you think is correct? I mean, if you have to look at the grammatical term ways. Right. We're knitting a sweater, okay? So now what you need to do now, you need to create your own timeline, okay? So you can choose, either you can do it in the morning or you can do it in the evening or in the afternoon, okay? Using, okay, the past that already happened in the past. So last afternoon or last morning or yesterday morning or last night, okay, or last evening, okay. So perhaps it's more like taking an example of exercise 4, write sentences about what each person, but instead you need to write sentences about yourself, of what you've been doing, of what you've done, okay, or what you're doing each day. So it's more like a daily routine, okay. All right, so I mean, it's not much for this exercise for you to, you know, to see much or to know much. Mostly it's about writing, okay? So doing your own writing work and all things. It helps you to get better at writing, okay? Okay, so I don't have much for you for today. It's the weekend, so I'm not going to go too long. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to do your homework, okay? I will see you on Monday for my next video. Alright, goodbye for now. Bye bye. Have a great weekend, everyone.